So I locked myself in my room, basically turned into a hermit for about a good 8 months. The only person I would see outside of my family was my pastor's wife.
Candace is saying that Erika went missing in 2008 for about 6 to 8 months, where she kind of just like was a recluse. And that's usually when somebody gets pregnant and they go and quietly have a kid.
Did Erika Kirk have a secret baby before Charlie? Because once Candace Owens pointed out that there's this strange 8-month gap where Erika basically vanished, people online didn't just ignore it. They started digging hard and things got weird fast. An old Trump rally clip suddenly popped up, showing Erika with a boyfriend from that time, and right there with them, a child nobody can clearly explain. Now the questions are getting louder. Did Erika have a child with another man before Charlie? And if that's true, where is that child now? Some people are even asking if she walked away from it, and whether Charlie had any clue his future wife might have had a whole hidden chapter in her life.
2008 is where it gets pretty interesting because I was trying to find Erika's very present, and suddenly in 2008, I can't find her. Okay, I put this as like Erika's missing school year, and she's going to confirm that after she passes her crown, so in 2007, she's wearing the crown, and then she passes her crown, she is going to confirm that she does indeed go missing after that period. So this would be, of course, in 2008. Take a listen to what Erika says herself.
I prayed for God to just strip my ego from all of that stuff, all of that world, all of the plastic hat, crown stuff. So I locked myself in my room, basically turned into a hermit for about a good 8 months. The only person I would see outside of my family was my pastor's wife.
Because if you really want to figure this out, that missing time period is where everything starts to unravel. Back in 2008, who was Erika actually involved with? What kind of circles was she moving through? When you start connecting the pageant scene, whispers of powerful names, even links people are speculating about overseas. It begins to look messy, confusing, and way too calculated to be random. Erika Kirk and Turning Point look like they're in full panic mode right now because the story isn't lining up anymore, and people are starting to notice the cracks. They can't keep control of the narrative like before, and now every detail is getting picked apart piece by piece. And a lot of that pressure is coming from voices like Candace Owens and independent researchers who keep questioning the official version that never really added up in the first place. But here's what has everyone locked in. What exactly is Erika so worried could come out? Because all eyes keep going back to one specific moment in her life that feels impossible to ignore. Candace pointed out that in 2008, Erika seemed to completely vanish for an entire school year. Then there's this resurfaced interview where Erika herself explains that she went into hiding for 8 months after winning her pageant in 2007, and that just raises even more questions. And like Candace pointed out, Erika was actually a college student in 2008, so just stepping away for an entire school year doesn't happen without something serious going on. You don't just disappear like that and expect people not to question it. Erika said she stayed locked inside a room, only seeing her mother and her pastor's wife for 8 straight months. And that detail alone has people raising eyebrows everywhere, because that's not a normal break or some casual gap year.
I have 4. Yeah. And I was praying to God that I was pregnant when he got murdered.
That's something way more intense. And 8 months isn't random. It's oddly specific, which makes people wonder what was really happening during that time. What exactly was she dealing with, and why does it feel like parts of the story are missing? Then jump ahead to 2015, and Erika suddenly reappears at a Trump rally in Arizona, standing there with her boyfriend at the time, JT Massey, like nothing ever happened. And then there's this young blonde girl standing right there with them, looking around 7 years old, and that's where people really start paying attention. Because when you line up the timeline, it raises eyebrows fast. In 2008, Erika steps away for 8 months, and then about 7 years later, there's a child around that same age standing right beside her at a rally. People online have been connecting those dots and asking questions that don't have clear answers. When you look closer at the moment, the girl isn't just randomly nearby. She's holding onto Erika, hugging her, acting comfortable in a way you usually see between a child and someone they trust deeply. That kind of body language has only added more curiosity to the situation. Now, about the man standing on the other side of the girl, there's no solid confirmation that he was actually Erika's boyfriend at the time, JT Massey, even though some people have made that assumption. But here's where things start to get even more layered.
Okay, so Erika Kirk posted a video, and in it, she has a photo of her ultrasound. She's kind of showing her pregnancy. And something that stood out to me was in the top corner, it listed her as Erika Franzve and not Erika Kirk, Franzve being her maiden name. We all know that she supposedly married Charlie in May of 2021 and that they had their daughter in 2022 and their son was born in 2024. So why would her ultrasound show her maiden name as Franzve on her
We do know that Erika and JT were together in 2015. They even did a couple's photo shoot in March of that year, just a few months before that Trump rally. That part is documented, and it adds more context to everything people are looking at now. Then there's that ultrasound clip that's been making rounds online. The name on the sonogram didn't say Erika Kirk. It showed Erika Fran V, which instantly got people asking questions. Could that mean the ultrasound happened before she was married to Charlie? Or is there another explanation that hasn't been clearly addressed yet? And it doesn't stop there. Erika attended Liberty University, and that school has a well-known program called the Liberty Godparent Home. It's a faith-based residential place in Lynchburg, Virginia, that supports young, unmarried pregnant women. They provide housing, prenatal care, and help with parenting or adoption, along with support to continue school or earn a GED. When people stack all these details together, the timeline, the names, the locations, it creates a situation that has sparked a lot of curiosity and ongoing speculation online. The program was founded back in 1982, and it's still one of the few places like it in the US that continues operating today, which is why people keep bringing it up in these conversations. And this is where the situation really starts making people stop and think a little deeper. Let's just consider the possibility for a moment. If Erika did have a child before marrying Charlie, then a big question comes up fast.
What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now? Stop.
And before I close, I'll share with you that I asked our daughter what she would like to say to Daddy for his birthday.
It's Charlie saying, baby Eve, just stop. Stop. You don't have to answer to every single person that's accusing you of things or saying that you're doing this or grieving a certain way. Baby, just stop. You're sick. He's a human being. You think he deserved that? Tell that to my 3-year-old daughter.
How much did Charlie actually know about her past before they got together? Because that detail alone could completely change how people look at everything. People who have followed Erika for a while say she tends to be very expressive and hard to miss, which makes some wonder how something this major could stay under the radar. And then that leads to an even bigger question. How does someone like Charlie Kirk, known for being sharp and calculated, end up in the middle of something like this without noticing anything unusual? Unless, and this is where opinions really split, there's another angle people keep bringing up. What if he already knew more than people assume? Some online discussions even suggest the possibility that everything was understood from the start, tied into a bigger image or public persona, though none of that has been confirmed. Maybe he knew exactly who he was marrying and what they were building together the whole time, right up until something changed and he didn't want to be part of it anymore. Because even if you set aside all the talk about a possible secret child, there are still questions people keep bringing up about Charlie and Erika's 2 kids, and that situation has raised just as many eyebrows. For starters, people point out there aren't many public photos of Erika during her pregnancies. Aside from a short ultrasound clip where her stomach is only visible for a brief moment, there's not much else that's been shared. Erika has said she chose to stay private during those times, which is her decision, but that explanation hasn't stopped the online speculation. Because at the same time, she did share parts of the journey, like posting about the ultrasound visit and showing a positive pregnancy test. That mix of sharing some details while keeping others completely out of view has left people confused and asking questions about where the line was drawn.
You guys aren't done, are you?
We might have one more.
Okay.
I'm kind of torn. The only reason why I'm torn is because I had C-sections for both. So I'm like, how many more times does Charlie need to see my organs? So, I mean.
Some people online argue that if the goal was full privacy, then why reveal certain moments at all, while others point out that everyone handles personal milestones differently. Either way, the contrast between what was shown and what wasn't has kept this topic trending in discussions. It all comes across as confusing to a lot of people following this story. And then there's another interview where Erika said she had 2 C-sections and felt unsure about having another child because she didn't want Charlie to see her organs again, which really caught people off guard. Because when you think about it, there are plenty of common reasons someone might hesitate. Recovery can be tough, raising young kids takes a lot of energy, and surgery is no small thing. Those explanations are something people usually understand right away, which is why that particular comment stood out and sparked even more discussion online. This is where the speculation starts to spiral for some viewers. A few have questioned whether the level of privacy around her pregnancies lines up with everything else that's been shared publicly, while others push back and say personal choices don't always follow a clear pattern. And when Charlie gets brought into the conversation, people start asking even bigger questions. Some wonder how much he knew or didn't know, while others argue there's no solid proof behind any of these claims. One thing is clear though. This whole situation has left a lot of people trying to piece together details that still don't fully add up. And now people are starting to look at the bigger picture, not just random moments, but how everything connects over time. Because when you stack the timeline, the interviews, the public appearances, and the things that were shared versus what stayed hidden, it creates a story that feels incomplete to a lot of observers. Some are pointing out that every time questions start gaining traction, there's either silence or a response that doesn't fully clear things up. That pattern alone has made people even more curious, wondering if there are details that haven't been fully explained yet. At the same time, others argue that internet speculation can spiral fast and doesn't always mean something deeper is going on. Not every gap or inconsistency points to a bigger secret, and sometimes things just don't get shared publicly for personal reasons. Still, the reason this keeps trending is simple. People feel like there are too many loose ends. And until clearer answers come out, the theories, debates, and back-and-forth discussions aren't slowing down anytime soon. And where things go from here really depends on whether any of these questions actually get addressed head-on. Because right now, everything is being driven by clips, timelines, and people trying to connect dots that may or may not even belong together. Some viewers are convinced there's more beneath the surface and believe the missing pieces will eventually come out. Others are more cautious, saying it's easy to build a narrative when you're working with limited information and a lot of assumptions. What's undeniable is how fast this situation has grown. Conversations that started in small corners of the internet are now spreading wider, with more people jumping in and forming their own opinions based on the same handful of details. Until something more concrete is confirmed, this whole story sits in that gray area where speculation and reality keep colliding. And that's exactly why people can't seem to look away, because everyone's waiting to see if something real finally breaks through all the noise. And at this point, it's not even just about one claim or one moment anymore. It's about the full timeline and whether it all actually lines up the way it's been presented. Because the more people revisit each detail, the more they start questioning what fits and what doesn't. Some are going frame by frame through old footage, interviews, and posts, trying to spot anything that might have been overlooked before. Others are stepping back and asking a simpler question. Are people reading too much into things that could have normal explanations? That split is exactly what's keeping this conversation alive. On one side, you've got people convinced there are major gaps that need answers, and on the other, those who think this is a case of the internet running too far with limited facts. Either way, the attention isn't fading. If anything, more eyes are locking in, more theories are forming, and the pressure for clear answers just keeps building as the story continues to unfold. Their first meeting, the fast-tracked marriage, and Erika's life before turning point, when you line it all up, a lot of people feel like the pieces just don't fully connect. And that's why some are asking bigger questions than ever right now. If this really was something carefully planned from the start, then people are wondering, was Charlie part of it the entire time? Was the marriage itself as genuine as it seemed, or was there more going on behind the scenes? Don't forget, their wedding was a massive event at the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess, and reports have pointed out that it was tied closely to Turning Point. There were even claims that a fundraiser for TPUSA took place during the reception, and the timing lined up with the organization's 9th anniversary. Details like that have made some people question whether everything was structured in a very strategic way, and that's where the conversation gets intense. Some believe Charlie knew exactly what he was stepping into, while others think maybe he didn't realize how deep everything went until much later. And if that's the case, was it already too late by the time he figured it out? What do you think is really going on here? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, and share this with someone who needs to see it.